Yeah, definitely will be one of the focus points, jumping into pick and ban for game number 2 and an immediate Tristana ban against Deft. They say, okay, well, we know you're good at Kog'Maw, but now we know you're extremely good at Tristana as well, so we don't want to leave that one open.
It's not so much that he's so good at Tristana, it's the champion has a built-in pushing power that requires no mana. If you exhaust resources on both AD carries, Tristana will always come out on top, pushing the wave, guaranteeing you have pressure. And if both don't have resources and junglers are accounted for, Trist will win that war every single time. So they're banning this for the early game. It was brutal to deal with. It was brutal to watch the Trist and Thresh pushing so hard and no answer coming out of the side of Afreeca. They got rid of 3 picks from last time around, so they do not want to have anything to do with what KT ran in game 1. So we're going to get a complete toss-up.
Exactly. A totally new playing field. Bunch of new champions should be coming in here for game number 2. KT delaying on their last ban, deciding do they want to let the Kalista through, and the answer will be yes, as they take away Tushin's Alistar once again.
Yes, the Kalista is up, but the Kalista-Alistar combo is one to be feared here. Most likely going to see this champion be locked in, and Rakan remains available, so there are still plenty of opportunities. However, Xayah is not there, so I think that KT might be thinking about picking that champion up for themselves, even though Deft has not shown to be crazy good at Xayah. The entire of the LCS has risen this champion in priority, and we might just see him put more work in it and make it count.
I have no idea who that is in the picture. Sorry, guys, but said something, I love you too. That's the back part. But anyway, you were talking about that Rakan. They're going to take it away very quickly, as that still is left open. We'll see Mata on the Rakan this time around. Definitely will be a treat for everyone watching.
Give me that Xayah, and there it is, Xayah Rakan. You deny it right away, you keep yourself the combination, and Xayah just like, this is my man, Kalista, we're gonna beat your ass down. How dare you, you home wrecker.
She wants revenge, you know? Spirit is just trolling coming in. We're not playing on 7-14, guys, don't worry.
Don't you love
don't
that
worry,
splash art,
right?
though?
Okay, yeah, that is pretty cool. Should be the Jarvan. Definitely is one of the more highly picked top laners, and Marin has shown that he is extremely good on that champion. And I think it's going to be the Rumble Jungle. We've seen Spirit do before, and we've seen other teams even try it as well. I think SKT even threw it in themselves. Peanut had his hand at it. Didn't go so well, but Marin Spirit, they're the duo to do it.
It most likely is the Rumble Jungle, but of course there are crazy opportunities where the Rumble top might be beneficial as opposed to him in the jungle. So you always have to respect the flex possibility that KT can throw, that Afreeca can throw at you, but they will be responding with a Galio themselves, and already they have great team fighting presence. They've got globals just like last time around, and the Lucian ban for the mid lane in order to secure a safe laning phase for Pawn.
Waiting on some more bans to come out here. Going to take away that red side Rek'Sai. Just do not want to see that. Definitely is one of the more strong picks that we have seen in the jungle from time to time. And as Score has not picked just yet, they're trying to cut down on his champion pool.
They're trying to deny any champions that can go in and combo with the Galio's heroic entrance, because Rek'Sai, typically when she goes in, she gets kited out and doesn't do a whole lot, but if you've got Galio to back you up, the AoE stun is significant enough that if she gets kited, the range of the knockup will still be there, Rek'Sai can connect, and then the fight can get started. So they really want to make sure that Pawn has a great time laning here, and I'm curious to see what Kuro is going to play into this matchup. There have been plenty of picks available. Some people go with Corki. There's Cassiopeia as well. Some people even try Orianna. And personally, I want to see him somehow risk a Kassadin into all this madness. It wouldn't be optimal, but it would certainly fit the idea that Afreeca is inconsistent with whatever they want to play. They just go at it.
Definitely one of the more trolly hover guys. They like to just troll you by hovering picks from the past or from the future, depending on what patch.
They're doing it for you specifically, Valdez. Yeah. He sees it like, oh, I know this guy. he loves my hovers.
I always react to it, but we'll just be the Jace. And we have seen Jace jungle. It has happened. I think that was Marong that did that from Everade, but this should most likely be the Jace top.
That would be just giving up right now. If you go with the Jace jungle, it's Jace top. You got to pick it. You win against the Rumble. You win against the Jarvan. If the lanes are isolated, you can push relentlessly. And best of all, you're comboing with a Galio. This composition already with Xayah, Rakan, Galio needs a wealth of damage. And because they haven't selected the jungle and the main damage dealers in the jungle have been banned away, it's the pick that makes the most sense. Now, Afreeca could have opted out to maybe ban the Rek'Sai or the Jace instead of the Rek'Sai and ban both Kha'Zix and Jace, potentially hindering KT's composition, but we do not know what they're packing here. It could have been a Camille for all we know, so the Jace makes a lot of sense, and now we get to see the final jungle pick, which could likely just be a Gragas.
Yeah, funny to see that pick still open. I suppose it's fallen down a little bit in priority as time has gone on. Definitely seems like the obvious pick here for KT. Got to wait until they lock it in, though. And there you go. So is going to be locked in. And yeah, we're also going to see Tushin on the support Kennen, which we have seen from time to time. I think the last guy to do it was Snowflower, and he had a pretty ridiculous game against SKT, where he was just going in by himself, 1v4, engaging, 4-man stun, and then his team would follow up. It was crazy what he was doing on that champion. So definitely is coming into popularity a little bit more here at the end of Summer Split.
It's a difficult support to gank, and he combos so beautifully with Kalista. The engage, the AoE that Afreeca has in this comp puts a lot more emphasis into fighting than they had last time around. They can actually make plays happen, and that's refreshing to see because it felt like last time around they were just gutted from the very get-go. That level 2 gank and level 3 gank onto Marin puts them in a hole. Mowgli was unable to find anything, and it is actually going to be the Rumble top into the Jace. So he doesn't want to get bullied out by the Smeb signature champion. Instead, he just wants to farm from far away and eventually have enough armor under his belt where he's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, the Jarvan jungle coming through again. It hasn't been too great from when we do see it here in LCK, but Spirit coming off the bench, wanting to prove to everybody that he can make it work on the Jarvan this time around.
And we need to see Jarvan go for some early game action. That's what this champion's all about. Go for invades, go for harasses, level 2, level 3, just ganks non-stop. That's the beauty of this pick. However, that is why he's also a high risk, high reward pick, because if he does not get the ganks, he cannot farm to save his life, and therefore becomes near useless.
We'll see if Spirit can execute, and if Afreeca can come back against KT, game number 2. Here we go. Afreeca still with the big fan crowd, trying to cheer them on, trying to get them ahead. But it's definitely fighting an uphill battle at this point. They do have a very exciting bottom lane, at least, and big opportunities to try to come back in this one.
And they at least have damage to make a comeback this time around. All their members can assist in just killing out tanks, dealing with backline. They're all quite capable of playing the fight to any degree that they want to. So a big part of this composition for Afreeca will be that communication. If you have 2 members going for the backline, others playing the front line, everything gets disjointed, and then KT just comes right in and wins the fight. So Afreeca's communication needs to improve from last time. And if they can do so, they can win these fights. But KT is trying to play a kind of a wombo composition, what we saw before with the Gragas, with the Galio. They had Jarvan last time around. This time it's Jay, so he offers a bit more DPS, but less of that combo CC. But if Galio gets a big knockup and Score does too, things can go awry.
Oh, trying to steal some of these Raptors. Only able to pick up 1 on the side of Kuro, but 1 is enough. They do make this a little bit harder for Score. Has to kill this big Raptor. And he's not going to be level 2.
But Jarvan will be in. Let's see what Spirit decides to make out of this lead. We know that Smeb had control of the top side map because he got there early. It is the Jace. He's up against Rumble, who will be pushed in, which can open him to getting ganked by Jarvan. However, it looks like Spirit is most likely just going to go for farming as the wave continues to bounce back.
Tushin very aggressive, even from the get-go. Wants to build up those W stacks. See if he can get some damage down. And Mata going deep here, actually, as he was about to hit level 2. And doesn't really work out in the end. Just trading back and forth.
Uh-oh, Smeb, the wave is gonna hit.
Okay, trying to take this trade. He's actually going to jump in on Tamarin. Can he dodge this? Flash it in here. Spirit, he wants to get the flag and drag. Is there enough damage? He misses it. It is going to be the first blood, but it does go down here in a trade for 1-for-1.
And that's huge for Smeb. He's got teleport. He's not going to miss out anything on that wave. Spirit just now donating that kill over to Smeb. That's going to be trouble. At least he was able to walk away with the kill, but look at the position that the wave is in. It is just perfect for the Jade. He has not missed a beat in CS, and magically now gets a kill, and the wave is frozen on a sub 30% HP Marin. This is beautiful.
Fantastic start as the gank goes awry, and another early gank up in top lane is a very interesting proposition. It works out for KT with their Elise, but not so much with the Jarvan jungle. And yeah, not going to be feeling too good about that one.
It started out so well, so look at how they play this out. Marin clearing some of the minion wave, going on to Smeb. Unfortunately, he doesn't get all of them, but what I love is how Spirit plays it. Bam, flash him with the auto. You wait for the flash, but he waits too long on the flag and drag. The lack of hesitation, he's waiting for Smeb to pick a side. He tanks too much of the tower and goes down in the end, and that almost was a 2-for-1 trade in the favor of Smeb, but he's already in a happy place. The teleports were burned evenly, and now he's sitting at 10 CS over Rumble.
Yeah, he's feeling good. Score wasn't there to pick up the kill on Marin as he got low, but he farmed out pretty much his entire jungle. Going to take the Rift Scuttler down in the bottom side of the map too. And we'll see if he looks for some ganks in a bit. He's going to hit a very fast level 6, I suppose, with all the farming he's doing.
Well, nothing makes you happier as a jungler when you're just trying to farm. You're a later game champion. Your early game is not that strong. And then you see the opposing jungler go for a dive that gets turned 1-on-1. You're like, oh, well, I guess I can just continue to farm.
Oh, boy. Spirit going for the engage. Gets caught out. The big flash from Pawn, and about as easy of a gank or a counter jungle gank, I don't know what you want to call that, as they could have hoped for. And bit of a mistake here from our Jarvan jungle, as Spirit doesn't have the best early game coming into game number 2.
He's 0-2 in 5 minutes. If you really want to do the math, the time that you can actually die is at about 2 minutes. So about 1.5 minutes per death on Spirit. And here comes again Kankuro.
No. Does he have his Valkyrie cooldown up? He's going to flash. Doesn't look like he does. He's not using it just yet, at least. Should have it soon. There it does go. Will use it to get over the wall and actually score, burning his own flash to try to get that kill.
He's drunk.
Perhaps that is the reason. Does make sense. And now they're looking to turn this one around. So they will get the flag and drag after the stun on Tamada. That should be 1 kill going down. Not sure about this teleport. Not really going to work out. It's just Kuro coming back in the lane.
Great collapse there from Tucson to pick off Mata. So he reads the play. As soon as KT's going for it, moves from bottom to the middle, and is able to find a kill. They do get the teleport out of Kuro, but he was just going to use it in the lane. So it's not a big deal. And here comes Score to the top side. They might be orchestrating a dive onto the Rumble. A big reason why you pick Rumble into this lane as well is that you always have that equalizer. If things get hairy, if you're in this situation where they're going to try to dive you.
Oh, man. No way! Oh, he does it right into Score! Oh, no! Score's like, what the hell? Okay, I'll pick up the kill.
Oh my god. He does have TP. Oh, look at the fat wave he's missing.
Yeah, that's not a good start here for Afreeca. Not good for Spirit, not good for Marin. And, well, at least they almost trade down in bot lane, as it seems to be going better. Tushin, he's like, God, I have to carry these guys so hard. Why do I have to do all the work?
All the bottom side is just hoping that the top side can stabilize, that the jungler, that the top lane can stop dying for a little bit, but they do recognize that it's going to be tougher and tougher as the game progresses. The advantages that KT have already put them in a great position when it comes to fighting around this objective, and it's only going to get tougher now that Pawn does have that heroic entrance. Score's looking for bottom side. There are flashes on both, however.
Let's see if he can force any. It doesn't look like he wants to make a move, so not going to body slam. Won't cask either. Just scaring them.
No need to overextend on that one, Marin. While he doesn't have teleport, you always have to remember that Kalista and Rakan, or Kalista and Kennen, can be disruptive when it comes to tower diving them. They can stun you, they can kite you around, and if you're Gragas and you miss your abilities, then you pretty much don't have anything else after that.
You're sitting duck underneath that turret.
Oh, Marin.
Not again. Okay, well, he's going to try his best to try to do something here. He's not going to flash. There it is, finally. He was waiting until the last moment to let that one go, but does get away with his life at the end of it all.
But the flash means they can revisit this lane. Pawn's teleport is almost back up. He can just clear some waves, go back to the top side, threaten to dive onto Marin, who no longer has an equalizer. I want to see KT build this wave up, slowly push it, and then go for a dive onto the top side. Afreeca is responding with Spirit ready to counter it.
Does have that red buff too, which would make things easier, and doesn't really seem like Pawn was going for that play at the end of it all, but good response by Spirit. They were thinking on the same wavelength as you, Crumbs, but not coming through. At least Score is going to make his way through a little bit later, looking for a Jarvan or a Rumble, but
Here
just
comes
hanging around.
TP. Can they 100-0 him? I think they can.
They should be able to. No equalizer once again. He's trying to burn down that wave. If they execute this, should be the kill. They do get the body slam. There's the cask into the wall, and he's stunned up against that one. An easy pickup for KT.
This is why Rumble has fallen out of flavor into the top side. You cannot defend yourself into this with your equalizer down. You're TPing into a crashing wave. Your jungler that was saving your life earlier has just left, so it becomes all too easy for them to put this dive on the map. And now they're trying to go for a turret. Kura might be able to defend the turret from dying, but more than that is not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, TP even being committed to by KT. They want this turret 100%. Second they see Kuro coming in, and I figure they're going to pick up a consolation Ocean Drake in the bottom lane, I suppose, but they're not feeling too good about this
I'm
game.
absolutely loving what KT's doing with the teleports, though. So many times before, we have seen teams struggle to find uses of teleport. It was always, you use it to get back to lane, you use it to make a play onto the bottom side of the map. But game one, KT was more creative. The Shen, they were just using it, save everything, save our objectives, save what we can. This time, Han does have flash, so he should be okay. Gets out, but they're using their teleports just like this. They're so liberal with it that because they often utilize them in a quick succession, it opens up more plays for them to make. So it feels like they're always being aggressive. And because they ran double teleport in both game 1 and game 2, it feels like they never can get jumped on. And it's exciting because that adds that kind of new depth to the tempo that KT is going for that makes these games feel like it's 30 minutes in, but it's only 10.
Yeah, it's extremely cool to see. Instead of using the teleport late, you use it early to keep that tempo up, keep that control. And I would expect them to do more of the same. And I feel like Kuro teleporting in on a Corki. Okay, hold that thought. Smeb, he's going to go deep here. Will flash the wall. He's looking for Jarvan. Won't commit to that kill as Spirit makes his way out with the flag and drag. And now Kuro's going to try to come in here. So now we got 1-on-3. There's the packets coming in. Smeb doing his best to trade back this damage. Here comes Score. Can Smeb get out of this one? Not looking too good, as Afreeca will pick up the kill in the end.
Of course they give the kill to Marin. Who else? He's probably calling for it. He does get it, so now he's at 2-2-0. He needed that kill to get back into the lane against Chase, but so greedy from Smeb. Flashing over, not even knowing where Spirit would be flashing over. I'm not sure why he predicted that he would be flashing to the top side of the map when there is no turret, so we're going to look at it again. Spirit's like, what's going on? My base isn't here. Casual looking at the shot, but an up flash from Smeb. While it puts him closer to get out of this position, he's getting collapsed from 3 angles, and so the package seals the deal. Can't go that way anymore, and even Spirit gets an assist on that one with a cheeky spear.
Drops the flag too. Adding some damage in there, but in the end, they do try to get their Rumble ahead, and most importantly, their VIP, their MVP, Marin, on this team. They always love to play around this guy. And unfortunately, he's not in a good position this time, as no flash, no positioning, as Pawn should be able to easily secure this one. The equalizer comes down, but extremely tanky is KT. And they do pick up one. Kuro will Valkyrie out of this one and should be safe at the end of it all.
They do say the red side of red buff is the most beautiful part of Summoner's Rift, so Marin just going for a sightseeing tour on the red side of the jungle, and I really have no idea what the hell he was doing in there. Maybe going for a roam, but it was just not the time. He didn't even have wards to drop down, so Marin maybe a little bit upset as to how much attention KT has thrown into his lane.
Well, he is definitely part of the problem here for Afreeca, having trouble early on. I suppose that gank in the top side wasn't exactly his fault, as he was just doing rumble things as Spirit fed Smeb the kill. Smeb just TP'd back to that easy lane. But we got KT in a very good spot here again in game number 2. So looking to pick up that 2-0 potentially.
Both teams are in a good spot, though. We have yet to see the bottom lane truly have any interaction, as it has just been a farm fest between Kalista and Kennen. But we cannot forget how powerful those two can be. Marin getting jumped on, but it's unlikely that he will go down there. He's really tanky, and that's just about how much defense you want to be building into the Jace. Just enough that he can't fully commit on it. Just go for harass.
You can see Tushin making that big rotation as the top, or rather the bottom side turret has gone down. Tushin looking to make his presence felt across the map.
But he gets spotted. A danger ping just went out, and Mata is moving to the top side, and Gallia is also kind of lingering in that direction, so it's wise that they don't overforce this, even though Smeb doesn't have flash and there's an equalizer. Wait a minute. They're getting fancy about it. They're thinking.
Even the scanner there, they say, okay, we're not spotted. They shouldn't know. And in fact, Smeb is going to walk into this lane. We do got this rotation up into the top, though. It looks like they're trying to bait this, and they knew. Here we go. The stun coming down with the equalizer. Will Smeb go down? It looks like it, but they should be able to trade 2 kills. Although here comes Spirit. Score trying to get on top of Tushin, who is very, very slippery at this point. He dodges the barrel. He gets out, but he will go down in the end. That was extremely close.
Oh, Spirit. He missed the combo. He was unable to go for the knockup and get score CC'd, so in the end, Tushin ends up going down, but he wasn't spotted by wards. It was the minions that gave off the ping, so KT thought that they have left. They go for the play, but there's just too much damage on this Afreeca lineup, and that's what this team composition had. It doesn't matter how tanky you are. Every member can melt you down, so we're going to look at the start of this fight again with Tushin. He engages with the R, the instant equalizer as soon as he gets stunned, in a great position there because he pigeonholed him into a corner right alongside the wall. So the combo there from Spirit, not sure what he's been doing. Maybe he needs to revisit the Jarvan a little bit. Traps, I want to say he ended up trapping him, that maybe Kennen could have gotten out of range. Not entirely sure though, but it's always fun to point fingers at Jarvan.
Yeah, I think he did trap. We could just say that on this broadcast.
Well, that's just mean.
He trapped him, guys. It's official. So, actually, after that play, Afreeca is able to even up the gold score overall, actually taking the slight lead at 200 gold ahead. So this game a bit more even than I had originally thought.
Hey, the blue side, you got to give them some credit there. They've got a great composition this time around, that they have a lot more tools to be proactive on the map, and they have been. Uh-oh. He's got package.
Oh, don't do it. He is going to package out of the way. And this might have just been a bait, as now Mata and Score are extremely slow. The cask will not save him. And here comes Pawn from behind. What's he going to do all alone? He can stun everybody, but it just doesn't matter. He's just sitting duck. Oh! But he will get out there, as no stun will be available to kill Pawn at the end of it and deny that heroic exit in that point in time.
I can't believe he gets out of that one, but why on earth would he complete that teleport is beyond me. Deft was in the mid lane going for that fight, and KT, similar to game 1 where it was clean, but then in some of the engages they got too bloodthirsty trying to kill the Corki. It's really hard to kill Corki when he's got the package. It's so quick, it's so difficult to interrupt. He can just fly right out of there, so them going for that play was reaching too far. It gets punished, and now Afreeca is in the lead.
They're feeling the red side blues, man. Not feeling too good right now. Getting a little bit desperate in some of their engages, I suppose. And that's all it takes. A couple of mistakes, 1 or 2 mistakes, and easily Afreeca can be in a good spot. They got the Galio fed, but that just means he's going to be really tanky. And that's just about it. Deft having a bit of trouble on this Xayah so far. Hasn't really had a chance to shine so far in game number 2, as he did in game number 1.
Exactly. He is required to be next to his team in order to deal damage. The 5-man needs to be there. Jace is the only real threat between Rakan, Galio, and Gragas. The DPS is barely there, so Deft cannot be left behind by his teammates, and it's difficult to say, well, was it him that wasn't there, or was the team engaging when he was not there? And you always look at the waves first. Did they have wave management? Well, Deft was dealing with the mid lane, so you most likely say Deft should not have, or pardon, the fight should not have happened because Deft was busy getting farm, getting control of the lanes, which does not allow Afreeca to react as swiftly as they did.
You can see that KT was trying to set up something around the Rift Herald, perhaps just trying to bait in Afreeca, but at the end of it all, they don't get a kill, they don't get their Rift Herald, and we got a very even game on our hands. That 2-0-1 Corki is going to be very scary, especially now as he has finished that Trinity Force. We have this Kalista already with the Bork finished up. Lots of parts for her next item coming next, whereas just an Essence Reaver finished for Deft here.
And what's really scary for KT is that, yes, they're running a 2-threat composition without any crazy late-game threats. This isn't a Kog'Maw, this isn't Twitch, it's a Xayah, and it's a Jace. So Jace needs to be rotating with the team. They're not playing around him, but Afreeca has so many tools to ignore every peel. Well, Marin, no!
Okay, we got that flash. Marin gets out of there by the skin of his teeth. That frame-perfect flash at the end of it all.
Goodness, Marin just loves playing with fire. This guy is Evil Knievel of League of Legends, and Pawn, once again, getting harassed in mid lane, but he will just flash out of this one if he needs to. There he goes.
Yeah, dodges that burst damage at the end of it by Kuro. So, gets away with his life.
What is
Deft
going on?
Okay. There's the teleport coming in. They're looking to get Tushin, and Candidate's stun comes out. In comes Mana, and all of a sudden it looks like KT want to turn this around, dodging that shock blast. And the rest of Afreeca was ready to rotate up, so KT just back off after picking up 1 kill.
Where was the Fate's call? Kennen should not have gone down in there, but he does, and it all started from a bizarre reverse flank at a Deft, waiting in the brush, basically taking the role of a Garen, and it was Xayah instead. Mata getting collapsed on. He does have Mobies, and Spirit is swift, but instead he's going the opposite way. He's running them around the Rosie, and he should be able to dash out of here.
He's going to try to dash between these turrets. Okay, he's going to suicide, but in comes Tushin with the flash, and Mata even flashing out
Okay.
after the auto comes in.
This is slowly devolving. We're seeing a degradation in League of Legends here, burning his own flash just to not give the kill away to the support Kennen, who also, by the way, burns his own flash, not as if the flash from Rakan or Kennen are incredibly important abilities that are worth way more than the kill inside the base where there's no objective to take after. So both of these players going with bizarre choices. You would have gotten the experience out of it. That's already a good enough advantage.
Mata kind enough to trade his own flashback. And now it's Kramer and Tushin versus Pawn and Score. The rest of these teams are rotating up. KT wants to make a defense at this turret. Don't want to give it away for free. And Jace is actually getting decently fed on the back of this. Already has his Yomus and the Maw. So definitely will be hitting like a truck.
He hits like a truck, but he's not there to hit anybody. He's the split pusher. And KT does not have any windows of fighting against the likes of Afreeca. They don't have enough damage. Xayah is the only one. They can dive her like crazy. How does Xayah protect herself? Wait a minute. He's got package, though.
They're trying to turn onto him. Can they burst him down? It's so close! Oh, he gets away! Oh, man, that must have been around 20 health as he gets out of the fight just barely using the package.
And Kuro's packing the world's most dangerous package there as he plays with his own life. Now goes back with a rapid fire cannon, but I'm surprised at these uses of Corki's passive, to be honest. They have all just been a way of playing with fire and escaping out of the grasp of KT.
Well, definitely is an explosive move, so he's definitely playing with fire as he does get out of these plays, but still alive, so I suppose it's working for him so far. And you can see KT, they're just looking to set up picks as Smeb does push in. Marn smartly this time around says, okay, I think something's going on here. And even Spirit's going to make his way down. So Afreeca, as a team, will save their bottom lane turret.
I think he knew something was up the second he places that ward over the wall and sees that it gets denied by a control ward. He knows that his own try is fine, but did not check the doubles brush, and that meant that KT was constantly looking to make something happen there on the bottom side. You infer that Gragas is likely to be there, as you are basically a sitting duck, and the itemization is going to help him survive in that. The Zhonya's just got completed now. Liandry's he has had for a while with the Tabi, so he's doing plenty of damage, and he's just doing his job, surviving the lane, waiting for Afreeca to build enough damage items to just force a Baron play, look for a team fight that they can easily just dive the backline and wipe the floor with the remaining tanks.
So the Baron is up. We're sitting at 23 minutes in, and Afreeca is going to make a big move towards this Ocean Drake, which should give KT some time to clear out some vision around that Baron, but they are getting behind ever so slowly. And after they take this Ocean Drake, that will be Ocean Drake number 3 for Afreeca. So when you get 1, yeah, it helps out in the lane. It's pretty good. 2 is obviously better than that, but 3? That can make your pushes last for so long, especially if you're ahead. And Score, where are you going? Heroic Entrance is going to come in and knock up 4 members. But again, Pawn is alone. Here comes Smeb from the right side, but a fake skull is going to knock him out. He doesn't even have time to do any damage as he goes down. And now Kuro fighting his own fight on the left side will have the help of Mana. But in the end of it all, Pawn will go down as well. And that's going to be 3 kills against KT for just 2 on the opposite side.
One by one, the members of KT trickle in just to give their lives a blood sacrifice to Afreeca here. The Equalizer does get the flash out of depth, but now they're on the hunt. They want to kill everybody here. This is a bit strange. They might be able to get death in the end. Are they possibly thinking about a Baron, though? Score is up in 5. Oh, yes, they are.
Immediately go for it. Here comes Score. He's running his fat little butt over to that Baron. We'll see if he can make it over in time. Deft is too low to steal this Mana. Can he pull off the heroic delay at this point?
There is Rend, so there's a lot on the line here. They should be able to rend it down. Smite is up from Spirit. Yeah, this is there.
Smite and then the Rend is going to make it easy. Mana is going to engage, though. How many kills can they get on the backside? Teleport coming in. Shock Blast will miss Spirit on the run. And actually now Smeb is going to be turned on. Kuro gets a kill onto Mana, and he's looking for more. And the double kill there onto Smeb. And Score will get away with his life, but this game is running away from KT.
Afreeca got so much out of the blue side, turns it into a Baron, and gets 2 more kills to boast. After that, they also get teleports. It could not have gone better for them, and all started around the blue buff. All because the heroic entrance completed from Pawn, because Score body slams over the wall. They had no vision. They see that Dragon was taken, and we were wondering, where are they going to rotate to next? It's either go mid or go bottom, and KT did not respect any of that. The lack of vision got punished immediately, and it was just their individual play that ended up yielding even more advantages to Afreeca.
Well, this is the Afreeca that we want to see. Well, it wasn't the cleanest early game, but they're dominating on the blue side. As it turns out now, they have made less mistakes in this game. That's definitely one thing that you can say about this Afreeca team. Let's see what happened here around the Baron once again.
Well, they just don't stand a chance at this point. They cannot jump onto Kalista. The CC isn't there, and the damage is even farther away.
He flashed after the auto again. Oh, yeah. Man.
Well, you know, this is what happens when you're running these compositions. They were getting ahead early. We were thinking, okay, they can continue to do this, but the second that it stopped happening, it just was too far gone. Look at Marin. He can just do this because these guys can't kill him. He's so tanky, he runs 2 people out of the jungle. Sure, he had backup, but he's just so strong. But KT, you know, Jace needed to get so far ahead out of the Rumble that they had to continue to dive him, and they slowed down. They were unable to cleanly get ahead. It bought enough time for Afreeca to get their items, get their spikes, get the turrets, and now they just have way too many threats to deal with when you have such little damage that is allocated to 2 targets and so much CC that, again, can only be comboed.
well. At least they do have a decent amount of wave clear, so they're going to attempt to stick in this game. They have the Shock Blast, have the Jace, they have Barrels, they've got, of course, Galio. But Afreeca, they're going to be looking to accelerate this Baron as much as possible. They've still got a whole minute on it, so they're looking for their third inner turret, their third tier 2, whatever you want to call it. And KT just trying to hold on. They've got basically one hand on the cliff, and slowly, one by one, the fingers are going to start slipping.
To be fair, I believe that this one has already slipped a bit too far, and they're just falling, grasping at the branches that are along the way down, because this composition needs a whole lot more damage. The Jace needs to have like an infinity edge for them to bop everybody, and they need to be looking for the 5v5s. They need a crazy wombo engage, but I think Afreeca's is just too strong at this stage in the game.
Look at Deft right now. I mean, that's just the poke damage from the Corki. That's basically it, and he goes down to 1/3 health, and you can see how much their wave clear is doing for them when they're going up against Baron, and that's not all that much. And the poke is pretty insane out of Afreeca too.
And just think about KT and how they can kill Kramer. You need to land Gragas or Galio onto him, or Rakan, unlikely, as QSS will come out as well. Here we go, though.
Going for it. The redemption is going to come down. This is the full-on engage. Their one chance. Martin with that last-second Zhonya's is really going to stay alive for way too long. Kuro, he's so safe in the back, and a really nice equalizer does come out from the Rumble. And nobody dies, funnily enough, even after that full engage. The re-engage now, the burst damage out of Jace, and everybody's getting super low, but still nobody dies. How is this possible? They take out the inhibitor too, and Afreeca will get away.
And you're asking, how is it possible? Because KT's composition just cannot deal with these backline threats that bounce around so much. How do you get onto Kramer? Okay, Mata hit him. Pawn was able to there. Score hits him. But can Smeb follow up with a Shock Blast? No, I don't think so. There's too many people in the front. Can Zaya do anything? She doesn't have the crazy range or ability to follow up so hard onto these tanks. So the carries just go around bouncing, dealing as much damage as they can to the tank. Sure, they're still tanks. They're still really tough to kill. And we're going to look at the engage again. The charm hits both Corki and Kalista. Beautiful. How much better can you get? But look at the damage. Jarvan is distracting Jace. The slicing Maelstrom is distracting Zaya. And then nobody can follow up. That's all the damage that the tanks were dealing. Here at the end, we finally get what it could look like if Shock Blast were comboed onto it, but that's because there was a straight line of fire that no other tank could stand in front.
Yeah, keep in mind that that push went on for an extremely long amount of time in the bottom lane, and they were going up against Triple Ocean, so had it been something else, maybe KT would have had a better chance, but again, I suppose they're just happy it's not Infernal or something like Mountain. Either way, Afreeca now, they pick up their own one Infernal at this point, and they want to go for this open inhibitor because they know they're super far ahead right now. They have to engage while they are ahead and look for more objectives.
Afreeca understand that. You saw Tucson going on the side lanes looking for the control. They've got double controls on the right sides of mid and the left as well. Now that they see all 5 members of KT, they no longer have to worry about a crazy engage that can surprise them. Score no longer has flash too, so it'll be a matter of time before they utilize the wave, push in here, and oh, they don't even need a wave. They're just going to go straight up and take it.
Pawn taking a ton of damage from Mata on the right side, Marin rather, trying to get that damage down. The slicing Maelstrom is going to stun up a bunch of members, and in the end, Kalista will go down, funnily enough. So KT does hold on with that kill, even with how low Pawn did get. Now they're on the chase here from Marin, trying to slow him down. Can they actually commit to this one as the rest of Afreeca? They're coming in from the left side. This may have been a little bit too much, but the heroic entrance will get a double knockup. They're looking for more. There's the grand entrance, trying to enter on as many things as possible. Def by himself on the right side, trying to micro here. Kuro getting a little bit too low. Now Smeb's coming in. They want to turn this fight around. Can they pick up anyone? They're looking for that Shock Blast. They're still on the chase. Oh, they're still coming in here. Gonna get that damage, but it's only gonna hit Spirit, and he's so tanky. Can they actually pick anyone up here? This fight just never ends. The huge grand chase down through the bottom lane. Looking for Tushin, and finally they get one. Will they get another? Is the big question. Still very tanky on the side of KT. Not able to stop that flag and drag. In comes Smeb. They're gonna take out Spirit, it looks like. But it will be only 2 kills, as now they're gonna try to back out of this one. Oh boy.
The great rat race there to the ends of the world. They'll chase Afreeca to try to get something, but it finished into the bottom side of the map. So Baron, the only objective that they could have legitimately capitalized on, is way far away. So all they can do is just buy some time to refresh the inhibitor waves, to push out and prepare for the Baron. Here comes Mata to ward it up, to make sure that if Afreeca is to start it, that they can respond with those double teleports. But what started that fight that went so well for KT was all about score. He hit a beautiful cast that knocked Kramer into the team, deletes him instantly, and then the fight is basically won at that point.
They need a couple more of those plays, or maybe more than just a couple. I mean, they have to get Kramer over and over and over again when they are this far behind. So it's all on score. This guy is a veteran. He's pretty good, I've heard. But we'll see if he can make the heroic play fight after fight after fight here. Would be a nice streak for him to have. He would certainly get MVP. And there are other options. I mean, maybe you get Pawn to knock him up if he gets out of position, but it's basically up to the Gragas. And here we go. Coming on in. You're going up against a Callista. Looks like they're just going to let this one go. Although Score, he does body slam into Tushin, funnily enough. And throwing his cask out into mid-air. A little bit drunk at this point, I suppose.
You've got Callista, Jarvan with a smite, and somehow Rumble still gets it. Those are the moments where you're a jungler, you're thinking about the steal, and you think to yourself, damn, if I played that a little bit better and got in there, I might have been able to steal it, because if Rumble got it, anybody could have gotten it.
Very true. And, well, now they're going up against the Baron. 2 inhibitors do go down, but 1 does respawn in the bottom lane, so they have a saving grace, I suppose, at this point, if they can somehow stop this long Baron timer, this long Baron push from coming in, then they still do have a chance in this game, but this is really crunch time for KT. They got to stop this push.
There's a fat wave amassing into the bottom side as well that they can utilize when it crashes. It's going to meet up with another one, so they're going to go straight to the turret first. The wave has not hit just yet, though, so they are susceptible to getting chunked.
Look at Kramer. He eats so much of that chunk, and Deft is able to Featherstorm out of the engage from Spirit. And, oh man, that poke. Kuro is so on point with his missiles. He's targeting Deft every single time. If he can just zone him out, it's so fantastic. Now that he's out of the fight, immediately Afreeca can engage. They take out that inhibitor very, very easily. But they got to be careful about sticking around. There's the big knockup. They get Kramer, and they get Tushin. That is what they were looking for. It looks like this time Mata's going to be the one to step up to the plate. And they do get that knockup, so they hang on to this game.
He sees the opportunity and he takes it, but we gotta wonder, why does Afreeca keep giving these opportunities? You already got the inhibitors, you've got flashes. What is the point? I guess the point is they want to have a longer matchup against KT. They're learning something here. Like, we gotta make the most out of this. We gotta drag them down. We heard that if the games get extended against KT, there's a chance that they tilt. Maybe that's what the strategy is. Who knows why they keep getting caught going like this, but we're going to look at it again anyways. Inhibitor is down. You don't need to do anything else. They're not committing to end the game, right?
Go home.
Yeah, so here they are. They are a group like, all right.
Look at that. I mean,
just a beauty. And Corki's not in range to follow up. There's nobody there to stand and block the shock blast. Picture perfect for what KT wants, and now they've got their sights set on an Elder Dragon, which can stir up a fight, although they do have to deal with Kuro, with teleport, with a Baron buff up into the top side that will be met by Galio.
They have delayed so much time from that Baron, and with that, I mean, you do have this one push that's coming into top lane. They're going to try to stop this push, but Kuro, I think he's pretty confident to just poke this one down. One going to make it interesting, but I think they might have to give up this Elder Drake.
They're giving it up, and they're going to go for a Corki. Kuro has flash and TP. Let's see if he's got some antics, though.
Okay, the Shock Blast miss is unfortunate. Flash coming in, though, the follow-up flash from Smeb, and a teleport coming in from Marin. And that means that they will get the Elder Drake and deny the kill onto that Corki. So now we got 4 Elemental Drake Elder here for Afreeca for 2 minutes.
They committed to going for Kuro, but they forgot that Marin's teleport can also help them out. And that was great. That's exactly what KT was doing with their TPs. We see it time and time again, usually in the laning phase, but in this late stage, it helps to deter the full-on engage onto Kuro, secures in that top turret, and now they're pushing in for that inhibitor. That's Elder, that's Baron. What more do you need? Afreeca, it's there.
It's there for the taking. The banana is ripe. Pick it off the tree. They want red buff.
No.
Well, I suppose they've gotten a lot of gold. I don't know. They just decide to go against it. They still do have a lot of time on this Elder Drake. So I suppose they're saying, okay, everybody go home, get your elixirs, you know, do your nails, do whatever you got to do.
Do your nails?
I mean, what else are they doing, right? Am I right? Like,
I mean, that's kind of
hey man, I'm not
female
judging.
thing, isn't it?
They can do whatever they want to do.
All right. Yeah, I'm just tossing questions out here. I'm not judging.
It's all right. I won't judge you for judging. But okay, now you've got a minute left on the Elder, and that was the timing, right? What did they go home and get at the end of it all?
Well,
maybe someone had an item. We should have been paying attention to the items a little bit more.
I did, though. You can't assume. Then you make an ass out of you and me. There you go. Kuro got a complete static shift. He sold his D-Blade, got a brand new static, so he's doing a lot of damage. He's got an elixir there to lifesteal as well. So they're decked down, but they're not going to be able to make too much out of this Elder Dragon, although it should at least yield this inhib turret.
Should be. They catch Deft in the back, but another big engage by Mata isn't enough. Another good cast, but they can't get Kuro in the back here. Mata is going to go down. Tons of damage coming up. Marin with the perfect Zonias here. The Shock Blast comes in, though, and does pick him off, but it looks like too much from the side of Afreeca. Kuro just doing way too much damage in the back line this time. Looks like we're going to a game 3, girls and boys. Quadra kill for Kuro on the Corki.
Welcome to the Callista Zone. There's a reason why this pick is so heavily contested, and Kramer shows up right at the end. He's able to team fight just so well. Nothing that KT could have done. The engage was right onto the back line, but unfortunately, the front line from Afreeca can deter anybody that wants to follow up, so it just becomes a simple cleanup for this bottom lane.
KT, they wanted that perfect engage again, and as you said, it's extremely hard to pull off. They do it a couple of times. Afreeca hand those two to him. They make the game a little bit more interesting towards the end, I suppose, but they do pick up the win that they deserved from their good early and mid performance. So Afreeca, they bring us to a game 3, and both these teams have looked very, very good on the blue side so far.
I really like what these two compositions are developing into, where you have one team that has a lot of engage, but for the most part, the biggest factor in this composition, the biggest attribute is a ton of damage. What Afreeca run was just that, whereas KT's is more structured, is not as flexible with the ways that they want to play a team fight. It always has to be engaged on these guys, make sure that you hit them. We don't have enough DPS to follow up on everybody else, and when these two compositions clash, you get games like these that you have 18 to 16 kills, a lot of blood for an LCK game, and so it always gets to be exciting, even though they make some mistakes here and there.
I loved the chase down the bottom lane as KT gets to get engaged, and then for about a minute, they were trying to pick up as many kills as they could as Afreeca retreated, but didn't end up mattering too much at the end of it all. Just a small amount of gold given over to KT, and lots to think about going into game number 3. I don't think we're going to see Elise given over to KT once again. The Callista, definitely a very scary pick. The Kennen, seeing a lot of success so far, although we didn't really see those crazy engages with the Slicing Maelstrom like we did out of Snowflower from Tushin this game.
Here's where Smeb started kind of trolling. He had a big lead. He was in full control at the top side, but tried to go for a little bit too much, and the collapse was imminent from Afreeca. They respond, and everybody got a piece out of this kill. Assist for Corki and Jarvan, and then Marin, who was a little bit far behind, ends up securing the kill with that final Harpoon, and then off that back of the fight at blue buff, they turn into a Baron, which then results in 2 more kills. Mata goes down here to Kuro, who, I don't know why he chose that spot for a base. Questionable at best, and now Kuro that's where he gets so fed. And I think that he'll likely be our Game 2 MVP. Even though the engages that Mata had were stellar, look at Jace. He's trapped inside a Cataclysm. Xayah, so far behind, she just cannot get in range. And it's a simple matter of if you got CC, but if there's nobody there to follow it up, did you ever really lock them down?
A very philosophical question, I suppose, at the end of the day, but cool engages there from Mata. They make it interesting. They bring us to this late game. You try to get that knock up into the cask, but easy QSS, you hop away, and Kramer and Kuro in the back line doing crazy amounts of damage. No way that KT could win this fight from that position.
When we observe fights, for the most part, you always just want to be looking at the carries and see who's permanently dealing damage, and that's typically a good way to figure out who's going to come out ahead. And when we look at that one, the Equalizer zoned off the whole damage dealers out of KT, whereas Kalista simply QSS and started to rack up those spears onto the Galleon. 42,000 damage onto Kuro. Lots of poke that came out from him, but the damage dealt the champion stat. When you're laning against a Galio, when you've got Gragas as well to just shoot rockets into nonstop with his passive, and your damage numbers go through the roof. But he did play quite well and teetering on life and death.
For sure. A lot of his missiles were definitely, they did make a difference in that game, especially in their pushes. His poke was really consistent and fantastic. So shout outs to him.